glass of water I'm holding right now might be 4 billion years old.
Older than dinosaurs, older than Singapore. I've been traveling non-stop since before this planet had oceans.
Traveling where exactly?
Everywhere. I have been inside a glacier, fallen as rain on a volcano, and flowed through the Amazon.
So you just keep going round and round?
The same water recycled forever, and Singapore figured out how to hack that cycle better than anyone on Earth.
4 national taps! I have heard of that.
By the end of this video, you will know how every drop moves and where the exam traps hide.
If you want to master the water cycle for PSLE, subscribe and stick around.
Picture a puddle on the basketball court after recess. The sun beats down. Slowly, that puddle shrinks.
The water dried up.
Not dried up, escaped. Water molecules near the surface absorbed heat energy from the sun and broke free as water vapor.
So evaporation is water turning into gas.
Right. And here is the part most students miss. Evaporation happens at any temperature, not just boiling point.
Even on a cold day?
Even on a cold day, your wet clothes on the bamboo pole still dry. The sun just speeds things up.
I always thought water only becomes gas when it boils.
Boiling is evaporation on overdrive. Bubbles form inside the liquid. But everyday evaporation happens quietly at the surface.
If water vapor is in the air right now, why can I not see it?
Because water vapor is invisible. Completely invisible.
But I can see steam coming from my mom's pot of soup.
That is not water vapor. That white mist is tiny water droplets. The vapor condensed back into liquid when it hit cooler air.
So the stuff I can see is already condensation.
If you can see it, it is not vapor anymore. That is the #1 PSLE trap for this topic.
So invisible vapor rises into the sky. Then what happens?
As it rises, the air gets cooler. Cool air cannot hold as much water vapor. The vapor condenses into tiny droplets around dust particles called condensation nuclei. Those droplets cluster and form clouds.
Clouds are actually billions of tiny water droplets floating in the air.
Not vapor. Droplets. Remember that distinction.
When do the droplets fall as rain?
When enough droplets merge and grow too heavy for the air to hold them up.
Like adding too many marbles to a paper plate.
Good picture. They fall as precipitation. Rain in Singapore. Snow, sleet, or hail in colder places.
What happens after rain hits the ground? Let us pause here for 8 seconds.
Some rainwater flows over the surface into drains and rivers. That is called surface runoff. Some soaks into the soil and becomes groundwater, moving slowly underground toward rivers and the sea.
And some goes right back up through plants?
Plants absorb water through their roots and release it through tiny pores on their leaves. That is transpiration.
Plant sweating, basically.
The vapor from transpiration joins the vapor from evaporation, rises, condenses, and the cycle repeats.
And the sun is the engine that powers the whole thing.
Without the sun, no evaporation. Without evaporation, no clouds. Without clouds, no rain. The sun drives it all.
So, where does Singapore fit into all of this?
Singapore gets over 2,000 millimeters of rain every year, one of the highest rainfall rates in the world.
So we have plenty of water, right?
Not exactly. Singapore is tiny. Rain falls, but there is not enough land to catch and store it all.
That is why we import water from Johor?
That is one of 4 sources. Singapore built the most advanced water system on Earth. 4 national taps.
Walk me through them.
Tap 1, local catchment. 2/3 of Singapore is a water catchment area now. Rain from roads, rooftops, and drains flows into 17 reservoirs.
Marina Barrage is right in the middle of the city.
A dam in downtown Singapore. Rainwater that would flow into the sea gets trapped and stored. Human-built surface runoff collection.
What about newater? That one always sounds futuristic.
Tap 3. Used water goes through 3 stages. Filtration removes solids. Reverse osmosis pushes water through membranes so fine that viruses cannot pass. Ultraviolet light kills remaining bacteria. The result is water purer than regular tap water.
Holds up glass of water. So this glass might have been newater at some point.
Could be. Nature recycles through evaporation and rain. Singapore recycles through engineering. Same principle, different tools.
Recycled water in my glass right now. That is kind of amazing. And the fourth tap?
Desalination. Removing salt from seawater at plants in Tuas. Ocean water becomes drinking water.
Taps glass. 4 ways to get water. That is how a tiny island becomes water secure.
Every time you turn on a tap, nature's cycle and Singapore's engineering are both working for you.
If you want to see the exam traps PSLE sets on this topic, subscribe and stay for the next section.
All right, 3 traps that catch the most students every single year.
Hit me with trap 1.
A picture shows white mist rising from a cup of hot water. The question asks which process is shown.
I would write evaporation. Hot water, steam going up.
And you would lose the mark. The white mist you see is condensation. Invisible vapor left the water through evaporation, but it immediately condensed into visible droplets in the cooler air above.
So both processes are happening at the same spot?
Check where the arrow points. Arrow at the water surface means evaporation. Arrow at the white mist means condensation.
2 processes, 1 picture? Sneaky.
Trap 2. Where does the energy for the water cycle come from?
Let us pause here for 8 seconds.
The answer is always the sun. The sun heats water and causes evaporation. Wind and gravity help move water around, but the sun provides the energy that starts the whole cycle.
Sun equals energy source. Always.
Trap 3. A water cycle diagram shows an arrow going from the ground into the air through a plant.
That looks like evaporation to me.
Transpiration, not evaporation. Evaporation is from water surfaces like puddles and oceans. Transpiration is water released specifically by plants through their leaves.
Same result. Water vapor in the air, but different process, different name.
PSLE tests whether you know the difference. If the arrow goes through a plant, write transpiration.
Any final tip for open-ended questions?
Always mention the energy source. The sentence, "The sun heats the water," is the one that earns you the mark every time.
Drip! We covered the sky, the ground, and underground today.
The water cycle never stops. Evaporation lifts water up. Condensation forms clouds. Precipitation brings it back down.
Runoff and groundwater carry it to rivers and oceans. And the sun keeps the engine running.
Singapore catches every drop with 4 taps: reservoirs, imports, new water, and desalination. Nature plus engineering.
3 exam traps to remember. Visible mist is condensation, not vapor. The sun is the energy source. Transpiration is not evaporation.
Here is your challenge. Put a bowl of water in the sun with cling wrap stretched over the top. Come back in 2 hours.
The water drops on the underside of the cling wrap? You just built a mini water cycle at home.
Every drop in that glass has been on a 4 billion year road trip, and it is still going.
Thanks for watching. If you learned something new, subscribe to Merlion Learns and we will see you next time. Happy studying!